YouTube, what it is, it's your boy Diesel from Diesel TV. Alright man, today I wanted to come with another video. As you see in the description, first let me say, no, the ATF did not come to my door, okay? The reason why I came with this video is because I did a video not too long ago about the ATF might have some questions, and it was based on keeping good records of your firearms, alright? So the other day I was watching a video. It's on Lead Therapy's webpage. I got it pulled up right here on my computer. But Lead Therapy had some videos up, and on the title of the first video said, "The ATF came to my house part 1. It went from you are not in trouble to we are giving you a warning." Okay, so I decided to go ahead and watch the video. And basically the story that he tells is that ATF came to his door, left a card on his door. He went to contact them. He couldn't get in contact with them for a couple days. They contacted him back. Initially, they asked him to come to the police, the local police, the sheriff's department or something like that, to talk to him, which tells me right there that it is an investigation. And then he told them no, which is probably a good thing. He wanted them to come to his house. Now, they came to his house. They had questions on a firearm they did a trace on that came back in possession of a felon. What he explains is he did a face-to-face, which is a private sale basically, of a firearm to somebody, and he sold it to somebody, and what he could only give them was a description of that person who he sold to. Now, coming from a law enforcement standpoint, okay, I'm not going to, first of all, let me go ahead and say Lead Therapy did nothing wrong in this whole situation. He did nothing illegal or anything like that. The only reason I'm coming with this video is because it could essentially stop all investigations when it comes down to the sale of a firearm, private sale or anything like that. It could stop all those investigations of the ATF might thinking that you might be selling firearms or anything like that. So, and you'll realize why I'm saying this at the end of the video. So, they basically ask him about a firearm that he sold. He doesn't know exactly what date he sold the firearm or anything, which is not illegal. It's not illegal. He didn't do anything wrong. I'm gonna reiterate that again. He didn't do anything wrong. I'm not here to bash him or anything like that. That's not what I'm here to do. Okay, so moving on. They asked him when was the firearm sold. He didn't know when the firearm was sold. He didn't know the person's name. Only thing he could really give them was a good description of what he could remember that person looked like. All right. So, from a law enforcement's point of view, just speaking to somebody that is suspected of breaking the law or something like that, how law enforcement is just because you didn't know it was illegal doesn't mean you're not guilty. All right. So the ATF does what they're supposed to do. They start looking into it, start asking him questions to make sure he's not doing anything illegal. The whole process that he did was not an illegal process, but the ATF did get a trace back to a guy that had possession of the gun that was a felon, and it was less than a year of him selling the gun. So that throws up red flags as well. All right. Now, only thing that he's saying that you have to do in Florida is make sure they're a Florida resident. I don't know, the laws are a little bit different in each state, and he did that. He said he did that, but there's really no proof of him doing any of this. And that I think that's where the main problem comes in this story. He can't prove his case otherwise. And the reason why I say it is good to keep good records of your firearms, and I'll show you one of mine right here. This is my SIG 320X carry. All right, I have the purchase receipts, I have the picture of the gun and everything like that. All right, and then also I have the actual copy of those purchase receipts. Also, I also keep them in on a flash drive, separate copies on a flash drive. I scanned everything. Here's the order that I got from the internet. That when I purchased it, I think let me see. W Guns is where I bought it from off the internet, and I have the actual transaction from the FFL that I sent it to and got it from. I have everything, all the records that I need, and so when it comes down to it, they ask me about any guns that I have the records on it. All right. Now, when I sell a gun, I do basically the same thing. I just take what I have. Let me cover this up. I just take what I have and I basically put bill of sale right here. I put bill of sale right here, and then I'll put the information of it being a sold gun down here in the remarks of my sheet, okay? The thing about it is, man, like I said, when it comes down to it, and I'm thinking about this from both a civilian standpoint and a law enforcement standpoint where I've been in both, all right? You want to be able to prove your case before you even go to court. And the reason is because looking back at this situation, okay, let's say that they wanted to charge him with whatever it is they wanted to charge him with, and they say they make accusations of him actually selling to a felon. What can he say? All he can say is, no, I didn't. I checked his ID. And then all they're going to say is, how? Where's the proof? And with the atmosphere that we have now, with most people against having guns, how do you think that's going to work out with you in a jury of 12? I wouldn't even test it, bro. I mean, and that's the bottom line when it comes down to it, man. I would not even chance it not going through with a jury of 12, because 9 times, let's say 8 out of those 12 jurors are already going to think you're guilty because the ATF came and did their investigation, and we all know about ATF. And I don't want to bang. I don't want to talk bad about nobody, ATF or lead therapy. I don't want to talk bad about any one of them. But there are some investigators out there that don't do a good job at their investigating. My situation could have been handled. I mean, my whole situation that got me to doing this, as if you guys would have watched that first video, ATF called me about a gun that I never did purchase, but it was a fraud. Somebody used my identity, made a card with my name on it, identification with my name in Florida. Never even lived in Florida. I've been there, but never lived a day in Florida. It was a Florida identification with my name and all that stuff, date of birth. They used that to purchase the gun, and they called me about the gun. I told him I never had the gun, and he thought I was lying. He did a little bit more investigation and found out that there was no signature on the paperwork, and then he said, "Oh, my bad." And that was just supposed to be the end of it. After he called my job, which was the sheriff's department at that time, and told them that I wasn't cooperating with his investigation because I wouldn't give him the information that he was looking for. So I know there are some out there that don't do their job. Case in point, that's why I choose to do their job for them, as far as letting them know and see that I haven't done anything wrong, and this is who I sold it to. You need to go to them and ask them where that gun is, because this is the person I sold it to. I have their signature. I have a copy of their driver's license. I made a picture of their driver's license. I put it on here. Even if the person doesn't want you to make a picture of their driver's license, if they're not willing for you to write their number down, write their name down, and write their driver's license number down, I'm telling you guys, you don't need to do it, because they're probably into some shit that they don't need to be into. All right. So I just wanted to make this video because that guy, Lead Therapy, he goes on to say in his part 2 of his video, you guys need to go watch this too, man. They're not long videos. One's a 9-minute video. The second part is like a 17-18-minute video. You guys need to go watch it, because it will let you know a lot of stuff about how the ATF operates. So they come to his house. He lets them in his house. Now, I don't know if I would let ATF into my house. He brings out a case of guns for them to look at. I don't know if I would do that if the ATF came to my house. I would probably talk to them on the front porch. I wouldn't let them see any of my guns. I would let them see my documentation of my guns, but I probably wouldn't let them see any of my guns. And I'm just a little weary about a gung-ho agent that really doesn't know what he's doing and just wants to put a charge on somebody. And it happens all the time. We have police officers like that. I'm a police officer, man. I am not I am not going to try to sugarcoat anything when it comes to law enforcement. Every profession has their bad apples, okay? Same thing with the federal government, same thing with local government, same thing with every profession. They have their bad apples. I am very paranoid of a gung-ho, agent or ATF or something like that just wanting to get charges on somebody because they haven't had a charge in a long time or something like that, okay? And they're trying to show their worth or prove their worth. So I will not give ATF anything to just come and I'm not gonna say that. Come and play with all my guns and just look at anything that could make them possibly say something is wrong. Or not even that, just charge me just to have a charge. And then I got charges on my record and, now I have to get them expunged because they dismissed the charges. They were wrong, and so they dismissed them. So now I got to get them expunged or something like that. So he goes on to say that, ATF came to his door and everything. They came in his house. They asked him about a few guns that he had bought and all that stuff, which he is a collector. He has a very nice gun collection. And he pulls out some guns, starts showing them this, here's a gun right here to ask me. He tells them what the serial number is so he can tell them, so he can pull out the gun and show them that he still has it and all that kind of stuff. And my thing about it, like I said, now his paperwork would probably be a little extensive because he does have a huge gun collection. But if anyone, and this is coming from a law enforcement point of view, if I ask you about anything when it pertains to guns or files or anything like that, and you come to me and you show me that you've been covering your ass by keeping documents on what you do with this and what you do with that, and it's like in order, all you got to do is flip to a page and you show me you still got it or you sold it, it kind of takes you off that suspect list of being a person that is doing something illegal. All right. So after the conversation that they had, they gave him a letter telling him that he has been warned about selling guns. And there is nothing wrong with a private owner selling a gun to a private owner. But the reason why they gave him this is to build a case against him. So what I would suggest that he did from now on, if he sells another gun, get the information, man. Lead Therapy, I am a subscriber to you, man. I subscribe to your channel. I watch your videos. I like your channel. Like I said, I don't want to speak anything bad. And the reason why I'm coming to you and telling you this is because from a law enforcement standpoint, I can understand why the ATF did some of the things that they did. So, man, just please guys, just cover your ass because they're making it harder on us in 2A community. Now, I was looking at some of the comments, and some of the comments they were saying was, don't ever talk to the ATF, don't cooperate with the ATF, don't give them any information or something like that. That's easy for that person to say looking at somebody else's situation, all right? Not talking to the ATF could get you charges. And regardless of the fact of what everybody says, yeah, you won't be found guilty, this and that, that's fine and dandy, but the money that you're gonna have to spend for a lawyer and all that stuff is still gonna be a hit to the pocket. I ain't rich. And that's why I cover my butt, because I want to stop it before it even gets to that point. Sometimes people say you don't need to talk to the police, and I watched another video of not talking to the police. Sometimes it's best not to talk to the police, but then sometimes it is okay if you know you haven't done. Now you have to know that you haven't done anything wrong. Like, seriously, no, you haven't done anything wrong. Then you can let them see that you are keeping good records, or that like I haven't done anything wrong with my gun, so I don't care if they come and look. Even if they had a warrant to look at my guns, I wouldn't care. I don't care about that, because I know I haven't done anything wrong and I don't have anything illegal, so it'll just be a waste of their time. Now, if they were to do it, I'll try to waste their time as much as I can and give them, and try to keep them here, because it's just going to be a waste of their time. But in the long run, when it comes down to it, not talking to the ATF when it comes to his situation, with the span. Okay, so we're talking about, just from a law enforcement point of view, guys, I'm just saying this from a law enforcement point of view. You have a guy that is caught with a gun who is a felon. You go do a trace on it. Within a year, that gun was sold to somebody. You don't know who it was, but it was from Lead Therapy to somebody. And then within a year, it gets in this guy's hands. There is no report of this gun being stolen or anything like that. Now, I can't attest to that. I don't know if there is a report of the gun being stolen or anything like that. That was not said in the video. But I am assuming there is no report of the gun being stolen because they're coming to him, and that is the last trace of the gun being in his possession. So if it was stolen, they would know who the gun was stolen from, and they would go to that person because that was the last place it was in possession of, you know. And I've done gun traces before, and I've had to go back and the owner of the gun that sold the gun, I had to go to them and then just step it back, and see exactly where the gun ended up and who the gun goes to. Okay, I've done that plenty of times before, and that's the reason why I'm talking to you like I am, because if the ATF did things like they were supposed to do, they would have seen that trace came back to him. They go to talk to him, and then they find out who he sold the gun to. If you can't give information of who you sold the gun to, is just one of those things like, okay, it ended up in a felon's hand. How do we know you didn't sell that gun to a felon? So that's what I'm saying. This paperwork right here would have shut all that down. They would have had no question of who he sold the gun to. If he would have had a name, even a first and last name, or something. If you check the person's ID, why not write the person's name down? If they don't want you to take a picture of their identification, that's fine. I understand that. But at least write down their information and the driver's license number or something. Because when it comes down to it, even if that was a fake ID, that's still, I mean, you're not a pro, so that still helps you out, even if it was a fake ID. So you did check the identification that you thought was real, so that still helps you out, even if you did sell it to a felon. They'll still have, you know, so like I said, man, just cover your butt when it comes to, you know, your paperwork, filing your paperwork, keeping up with your guns and things of that sort. I know a lot of people out there have extensive gun collections. Some people don't even sell their guns. I don't sell my guns. I do not sell my guns. I've probably sold, out of all the guns I've probably sold since I started collecting guns in 2004, I probably sold 3 or 4 guns. And that was just because, you know, I wanted to get a newer model or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I have not sold any of my guns, and I will not be selling any guns. But if I do, I will do the paperwork. I will do everything to cover my butt to, if they come and ask me about what happened to this gun, I'll know exactly where it is from the time it left my possession. All right. So guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I just wanted to bring this to you. Like I said, I hope Lead Therapy doesn't take this the wrong way if he sees this. I really did not want to make you look bad or anything like that. Only thing is, I just wanted to put my 2 cents to say this is what I'm talking about, because I had a similar experience. Mine was just over the phone. They never came to my house. They just called me. Mine was over the phone, but I had a similar experience when it came to the ATF. And you just don't know what that agent's ulterior motive is when it comes to investigating, and you have to build a defense for yourself. You know, they say not guilty until proven innocent, but we all know that is not the 100% truth. That is not the 100% truth, especially when you're talking about special agent, you know, whoever, special agent. When they hear that special agent, man, they just think that, a lot of people just think that they're right and everybody else is wrong, man. So you guys, you have got to cover yourself when it comes to the 2A. And the main reason is because they're already trying to take guns from you in the first place. You already have a lot of people out there that don't want guns. So we have to start acting differently to protect our right to have our guns. I understand it's not illegal. He didn't do anything illegal or anything like that. But guys, we have got to start acting differently when it comes to protecting our guns. All right. I hope this helps you guys out. I hope I didn't piss anybody off by what I said, but if I did, oh well. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'm out.